jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators.
You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on us, flaring on us. We Ric Flairing on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on us, flaring on us. Yeah, we Ric Flairing on us, flaring on us. It's apparent these girls staring. I'm Ric Flairing, gold across my chest. I'm fresh to death. I'm Paul Bearing, not at all scary. One eye open like Betty Wops and fine to these circles that's going in like a carry shot. Woo! I'm going in like a Mary Pop off that Mary crop at the top flow at the Marriott. So questioning me is like questioning you. See, we the best dressed, so come and get blessed with the crew. Not one but two, different ways to slaughter your crew. Committed tat across the chest, I guess she blessed with the truth. People want to see them checks, representation of proof. Living through my elders trying to resonate to the youth. But ain't nothing to get my flash on. Longevity is heavily embedded in my melanin. Layman terms, I last long. My grind repetitive, I'm smoother than real silk. Lyrical cash cow who can't cry over spilled milk. We in here. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on us, flaring on us. We Ric Flairing on us, flaring on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on us, flaring on us. We Ric Flairing on us, flaring on us. This ain't no normal situation, this preparation with greatness. Industry full of fakeness is really up for the taking. See, life is what happened to you, more so how you take it. Don't get stripped of your knowledge and mentally leave you naked. I like to live otherwise. I'm sorry that I'm fresh to death. I put the polo and apologize. See, black son, we ain't nothing like the mother guys. Quit to socialize, we organize, then we mobilize. Off the deep end like a scuba diver. And no confusion, just keep it pushing like Uber drivers. Business fresh just like a supervisor in a Gucci visor. Can't find a smoother rhymer. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on us, flaring on us. We Ric Flairing on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on us, flaring on us. We Ric Flairing on us, flaring on us.
DQ, baby. Shout out that boy Nigga for that fire track. Hey, Black Sun, sun up. What's up, Vinny Vegas? What in Vegas? Yeah. Shout out Pharaoh's Kids. D-Phase. Yeah. Bubba C. Yeah. Ric Flairing on them. Ric Flairing on them. Ric Flairing on them. Ric Flairing, son up, baby.
Hey, yo, Scotty, you going crazy for this one. We see what you're doing, we salute you. Hey, let's get it started. It's backpack, capital one. What's in your wallet? Got a call from my man A. Scott. I said I got it. Love that you highlighting all of these black colleges. Try to pay me for doing this. Look, bruh, if you don't get off my line with that foolishness, voice of the swag, pull up where you at. No cap if the Brody is speaking the soft facts. My advice, tune in to every show. Captain Petty, but we know that the sergeant is with the smoke. Speculate, just tell me what is we doing. Get into it, okay, look, I'ma say this and keep it moving. My boy Scotty, man, he offer the least. Black grad, paying college, I'm glad that he called me. Walk it, cause we all been taught that talk is cheap. Even primetime knows Scott for the HBCU streets.
What is going on, everybody? Happy Thursday. You already know what it is. It's your boy back again with another one. Hey, we're doing it a little different today. You know what I'm saying? Got a little wealth seminar going on. And I just want to say before I bring on my guest today, it's just real amazing to me. If I was talking about some foolishness, it would have been 150 people up in this chat talking about some, oh, I can't wait for Scotty. Now we talking money. Ain't nobody to be found. That is and it be the brokest people. People that need the advice won't even show up and get it. But you know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of you guys say, Scotty, why you wearing Prime? Because when you wear Prime, it got to be about the... It must be the money. You know what Prime talking about? If you look good, you play good, they pay good. Come on, man. You already know what it is, all right? So listen, make sure you guys are locked in, tuned in. If you're catching this off a replay because you're watching the NFL draft, I promise you, we gonna make it work, all right? So before I introduce today, I gotta tell you a little bit about today's guest, okay? Now, I usually don't bring on Marines because they just different, okay? They just different. But Matt SAPAULA is a little different as well, okay? Now, Matt has built an $81 million life insurance, $200,000 per month cash flow. Like when I go get people, I go get them, okay? We ain't talking about your mama who got $100 a month coming in. This man is making 6 figures a month, okay? Author of the Amazon's best-selling book, Faith Made Millionaire, and you will see him on financial services, contributor seen on MSN Money, TD Ameritrade, the New York Times, and Fox Business. Now, my other guest, okay, still ain't no slouch. You heard Mr. Buzz call in and talk about these contracts, owns over $34 million worth of real estate holdings, brings in about $77,000 per month, all right, has $1.2 billion with a B, okay, private equity asset, and he has current projects going on to renovate a Michigan State University that would generate $2.2 per month. Listen, guys, I'm telling you, these are 2 hard hitters in the financial game. You want to lock in and tune in and get your notepad ready. Give it up for my man, Mr. Bugs. And
what it do? What it do, yo? You see it? You see it? Take the
Recession in the house.
There you go. Yes, sir. What's up with you, baby?
Man, both y'all's backgrounds just look like money. Okay, you got a whole bunch of books. Got a whole bunch of books, and then my man got a whole chalkboard back there.
Yeah,
got
sure.
class. That's some high money stuff. That's some high money stuff.
For sure.
Listen, I know you guys. Once again, I just want to thank you guys for coming on the channel to talk about what you've learned and what you guys have built from the ground up. And I hope I did the introduction justice to tell people what you guys are about and things going forward. But once again, thank you all for being here. It started off. Now, listen, you know, I like to do a little, all script is off script. You know what I'm saying? We take this thing so many different places, right?
Yeah.
But I want to know, when y'all got the money, what was the first purchase? That's it. You was like, when you look back, you said, I got it to spend it. What was that purchase? You was like, I gotta have it. I gotta have it. Mr. Matt, you look like you ready. What you get?
Listen, I was a single dad of 3 kids, so I just wanted an apartment, bro. I just wanted to have a spot to stay at, man. It's so funny because I got a 2-bedroom apartment here in Chicago. When I was living in Chicago, I'm in Dallas now, but my kids were still used to that 1 bed. The kids were still used to sleeping in the same bed. And when I finally got the apartment, they got to have their own room. In the middle of the night, what do I find? 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, they all crawled up in my bed. So they didn't even know how to hang, man.
Listen, I have a 5-bedroom house, and my son and daughter, like, they can't sleep apart from each other because they're so used to always being in that same room.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When we was in the military and stuff like that, traveling around and stuff like that. So now, you know, they be like, "Dad, can I sleep with Chai?" I'm like, hey man, if that's what helps you sleep at night, do what you do. But what was one major purpose? You know, when you like, what was a toy that you was like, man, I I've always wanted this. I always wanted to have it.
I'm dating myself with this purchase, but I bought it. It was a Chrysler 300. You remember those Chrysler 300s? Yeah,
yeah.
I was a G. Come on, baby. Chrysler 300, man. And I bought it. I had finance because I said, you know what? I got the credit. Let me use the credit. I had the credit. I'm like, you know what? I've been talking about this insurance strategy about infinite banking. You know what? Let me be a customer of my concepts. So 6 months later, I took my cash out of my policy, paid off the card cash, got the title, and just paid back whatever I was paying the bank. I was paying my life insurance back, my quote unquote loan and withdrawal from my insurance policy, which I'm sure we'll get into as we go off script.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Mr. Bugs, what was your first major purchase when you like, man, I got it. I got it now.
Well, when I got my first major purchase was the wedding. So I remember when we got that first check and that big old check, and I was like, yeah, we're gonna turn this into $200,000-$400,000. And my wife looked at me like, I was like, here go the check for the wedding. And that was it. That was it. That was me, wedding for my wife and I.
I love it. I love it. You know, hey, that's the biggest investment because you know mine's is coming up, so I'm in that. I'm in the same.
And I expect to have an invitation.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
We got you.
Kick to a kick.
A lot of people, you know, when they meet people like you and they talk to you guys and they see your success, they don't know where I always think like this is where you've been at all your life. Mm-hmm. So Matt, I've heard a little bit of your story, but I would love for you to tell, and then Mr. Bugs, you can go into your background just a little bit about, you know, the story of the bounce back, because I think a lot of people don't understand, and me and Matt, you know, in the military, they teach you to be resilient, you know, compartmentalize a lot of your things that are going on. But Matt, if you could touch a little bit on your story about where you started from, that I think a lot of people will resonate with, of understanding like your story or your bounce back.
If I may do a shameless plug, Faith Made Millionaire, best-selling book, right? In the introduction section, let me start this off by saying, in 1 year, I got married, became a father, and filed for bankruptcy and divorce. There you go. Okay? I call that my motivational year of change right there. So,
yeah.
But, you know, you've been in the military. So when you come back from a deployment, you come back, you do a lot of dumb shit. And that's what I did. I had some cash from the Persian Gulf War. I had some cash. We hadn't spent money in 6 months. Let me go buy a car. Let me go this, and it was just funk nasty. But you know, I come from Chicago. I come from the Cicero neighborhood. That's on Cicero and 26. You went to Morton High School. So if anybody from Chicago watches this, they'll know that's not a very wealthy neighborhood. You had one side, you had your vice lords. The other side, you had your Latin kings. So that I'm Filipino, I'm neither, right? So you know, it was gangland. So my step away from all that was trying to play sports. I wasn't very athletic. I just ran fast, but I made it through sport. The reason why I played sports 3 seasons and 3-sport athlete in high school was just to get away from the gangs. Yeah, get away from the riffraff. And so after that, United States Marine Corps, making $20,000 a year as a sergeant in the Marines. My paycheck was $850, $900 every 2 weeks. Divorced. How do I get this happen? We fly missions, right, in Southern California. We fly over Southern California. We fly over Dana Point. We fly over Laguna Beach. We fly over Newport Beach to get to the training areas when we do our patterns and exercises, insert infills, exfills, all those exercises, trap missions. We practice that in Camp Pendleton in California. So when we deploy, we can do it. But the whole time I'm flying over Southern California, Orange County, some of the wealthiest homes and yachts and piers that you'll see. I'm scratching my head like, what are these people doing? And I could barely go out to Balboa in Fashion Island and get a corny dog at hot dog on a stick before I'm broke and I get to head back to the base. So I just had to figure out money. And this month being financial literacy month, that's what I started figuring out. I got to learn the rules of the money game. It's a language I wasn't speaking. You know, I was speaking brokenese instead of speaking millionese.
Yes.
I like it. Now, Mr. Bugs, you know, we talked a little bit about your story as well, and how you know you and your marriage is actually a pillar for your financial growth. How did tell a little bit about your background and that you didn't start here, but you built to there.
Yeah, I was born in a little small town called Huntington, Texas, in East Texas. You could drive through it in about 2 or 3 minutes, literally. It had about 100 people, and that was it, man. My mom was divorced at the time. We moved to Dallas, and then she got remarried. My mother and father didn't teach me anything about credit, business, budgeting, financing, nothing. I had to learn that on my own. And so when I got my degree, when I got my high school diploma, I went and played college basketball, which was great. And then I quickly got into the business realm, and I began kind of looking at it and saying, okay, how when I was 17 years old, before I got my high school diploma, my Uncle Gary, who is still alive to this day and love him to death, he introduced me to a concept called passive income. I said, what is that? And he said, it's something that you do one time, but you get paid over and over and over again. I said, why am I going to college? I want to learn how to do that. And so I did go to college, and I do have a college degree. But when I was in college, I began studying business models that actually generate passive or residual income. And I stumbled onto real estate, and I began to see how a lot of these business titans, the Jerry Joneses, the Robert Krafts, of course, Robert Kiyosaki, Donald Trump, people like that, a lot of the NFL owners and NBA owners owned a lot of real estate. I said, And so I began looking at how to make money in it. And I began to see a lot of people begin to kind of buy and flip real estate. So I began studying the tax code. I didn't think it was wise to pay a lot of the lion's share of the money that I was making to Uncle Sam, who was a silent partner in the deal. Whenever you're flipping, you pay a higher tax bracket. We get into that later on.
Yeah.
But I began to kind of look at how I can actually increase my return on investment, lower my risk, and also grow my balance sheet. And I began to acquire and hold a lot of real estate. I actually made a lot of money during the downturn in 2006, 7, and 8. People were running away from real estate. I was running too. Mm-hmm. I bought probably in that time frame about $5 to $6 million worth of real estate in 12 months.
Wow.
And all of it was cash flow. I didn't flip anything at all, period. And to be honest with you, I bought it in a very creative manner. I probably played out of that $5 or $6 million. I probably invested out of my own cash, maybe $100,000. That was it.
Wow.
That was it. And so, but I had serious equity in the deals because I got creative. I understood how to actually creatively acquire these properties, and I began making some residual income, and it began to grow and grow and grow. And now I am where I am right now.
Let me ask you guys both this question. What, in your opinion, when you I know Mr. Matt, you sit down with people all the time, and Mr. Bugs, I know you guys sit down and talk to people. What are most people's problem with money? It always seems like they have an adversarial relationship. Like, either one is beating them up or they're beating each other up. What are your opinions from the conversations that you have? What are most people's problem with money?
They are spending it all. They're spending it all. By the way, the way you open up the show, if I'm talking about some crap, right, everybody's on the show. But the moment I start talking about money, I don't want to hear about it. Why? Because you got to face the mirror. Money, your bank account is going to be a mirror into your attitude, your habits, your conversations. Yana Van Zandt one time, she says, your credit report is a reflection of your attitude. Your bank account is a reflection of your consciousness. And so when I was starting to think about these type of things, and we sit down with somebody, who wants to be a millionaire? You ask any crowd, who wants to be a millionaire? Of course, everybody's going to raise their hand.
Yes.
Okay. But a better question is, okay, are you willing to work towards it? Are you willing to sacrifice getting those purchases and have delayed gratification? Brother, I was 42 years old before I had my first pair of J's. 42. I grew up in the 80s and the 90s. I was there when Michael Jordan was drafted. I was there when the Chicago Bears won the Super Bowl. Like Mike. I want to be like Mike, right? But
I was singing too.
Everybody got taken care of. My kids got taken care of. My ex-wife got taken care of. Right? My new wife, she's taken care of. My last wife, she's my new wife. My last wife, we've been married now 8 years. My retired, my parents, my in-laws, everybody's taken care of. Now it's time to buy some J's. So, it's not a common, happy conversation, delayed gratification, but it is the habit that'll get you ahead.
I like it. Mr.
It
Buck,
is.
What are some of the things that you've seen that are most people's problem with money?
I agree with Matt. Understanding of cash flow. Cash flow is the most powerful word in business. The key word is cash flow, not capital gains. Cash flow. Me and Matt are cash flow millionaires. And so the thing about it is we can start working and still be cool. I always tell everybody is whether you have a job or a business, do you make more money as you're working the business, or do you make more money when you walk away from it? And so for me, I like cash flow. I always tell people when I sit down with everybody is if mismanagement is you will lose everything that you mismanage. You're going to lose everything you mismanage. And Matt is spot on. Your bank account is a reflection of your habits as well as your credit report. So I think Matt killed it for sure.
Now, I know, Matt, you're in insurance. Mr. Bugs, you're in real estate. How do they both concede into cash flow? Because those are two completely feels like they're on the opposite side of the world. You know, Antarctica, you know, North Pole, South Pole. One is insurance, one is in, you know, real estate. How does cash flow begin in both? I want to talk to you really, Matt, because a lot of people don't think of insurance and cash flow go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So, one, how did you create a cash flow? And two, how do we change the perspective of what insurance is?
Oftentimes people think life insurance is for when you die, for when you get buried in the ground. That is true. That is correct. But that's how multicultural, middle class, and poor people think about insurance. Wealthy people look at life insurance or how to use it when you are alive. Wealthy people look at life insurance as an asset. Middle class and poor people, mindset-wise, look at life insurance as a necessary evil. So when you're looking at, for example, I'm from Chicago. Do you realize that the biggest buildings in downtown Chicago are owned by life insurance companies?
He's correct.
Really?
Oh yeah, let's do a quick rundown. The biggest building in all of America used to be called Sears Tower. Right? Which is now called renamed to Willis Tower, Willis. Willis is a insurance company, insurance organization. Okay. Remove Trump, Trump's real estate. The third biggest building in downtown Chicago is John Hancock. What did John Hancock do? Insurance.
Yes.
Big red building downtown, CNA, insurance. When Obama became the president, he did his welcome, congratulations speech in the Millennium Park in front of the Aon building, big tall white building. What does Aon do? Insurance. You go to Mag Mile, Equity Building, Principal. I just named you three insurance companies just on the Mag Mile. And so the biggest purchasers of real estate happens to be life insurance companies, insurance companies.
Wow.
And furthermore, guess who is the biggest owner of cash value life insurance? Banks. Look at the banks. FDIC, Federal Depository Insurance Corporation. So there's banks behind all this. It's cement. People don't like talking about cement all the time, but you know, you might make sure your house is not built on sand. You want to make sure it's built on cement. A lot of people sometimes don't like talking about cement, but you can't build a solid business or infrastructure without it. There you go.
Yes, sir. You spot on. And people don't understand, Scotty, is a lot of investors like myself, guess who we use as lenders to go out and buy real estate?
There you go.
Insurance companies. And they give us great rates as well because of the fact that insurance companies, when you actually begin to put your cash into an insurance company, they have to go invest the money somewhere, right? So I walk in, I say, give it to me. I'll borrow it at a 3, 4, 5% clip, knowing that I can make 10, 20, 30%. So I'm making more than life insurance company, but I'm leveraging that piece of real estate to go out and acquire it. He's right. A lot of sports arenas, NFL stadiums, stadiums on campuses. Guess who they're financed by? Life insurance company.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. New York Giants, MetLife Stadium. New York Jets, the Eagles, Lincoln Financial. Insurance. We can go on and on.
Keep going.
But Scotty, think about this real quick. Let's say we create an insurance company. By the way, the only black owner of an insurance company, there's only one. There's only one black owner of a life insurance company in the entire United States. That's Magic Johnson.
Yes.
That's it. That's all we got.
Magic Johnson has a life insurance company?
Yes, he does.
It's called Equitrust in Chicago.
What?
Yeah, the only black owner. By the way, back in the day, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, one of the biggest businesses that black owners had was life insurance companies. That's why Martin Luther King was talking about having a bank in and insurance in. He wanted black Americans to buy life insurance and have bank deposits with black-owned insurance in banks.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Spot on. Insurance is buying everything. Everything. You better believe, and I'm gonna give you something else. You know, when it comes to salaries of NFL and NBA players, guess what those owners are using to pay those salaries? It ain't the bank. It's life insurance.
That's it, bro. Oh, yeah.
Keep it 100 with you.
Well, we'll keep it rolling. We keep it rolling. For example, no real estate transaction can happen. LADALE, you're in real estate, right?
Yeah.
So you can get a cash, you can have the credit score, down payment, but they're not going to give you the keys unless you have proof of what?
Insurance.
Boom.
Hey, man, what about cars too?
Yeah, you can't leave that car lot without proof of
Insurance.
So in other words, the banks have learned how to financially cover the butt, but how come
Yes.
the average person in America doesn't know how to cover the butt financially? That's the big gap. That's the big exposure.
Yes.
That's where the lack of education comes into play.
And the thing about it, Scott, is this here is the one thing I see when I sit down with a lot of individuals is they don't understand the difference between assets and liabilities. Like, for instance, I'm going to ruffle some feathers. It's okay. Take a deep breath. Your house is not an asset. Take that in. It's okay. Take it in. It'll be all right. It's not an asset. Now, people say, no, because I'm building equity. But you can't get access to it unless you go borrow the money. It's an asset, but it's an asset on the bank's balance sheet. Yeah. Let's really look at the definition of asset. An asset is something that pays you whether you work or not.
Yep.
A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket whether you work or not. Even if you pay off a house, what do you still have to pay on an annual basis? Taxes. It's still a liability. The only time it turns into an asset is when it begins to pay you money on a monthly or annual basis, not equity, an actual cash flow. Okay, so and a lot of CPAs kind of go back and forth with me. I said that's fine, that's great. About keep telling people that whole lie. To be honest with you, but your home is not an asset. Now, can you borrow the money from it and invest? Sure, but even when you borrow the money, you're borrowing debt. That debt has to be paid back, right? This means it's a liability still. It's real simple. Simple.
Wow. Okay, so let's dive into. I want to dive into a little bit of life insurance, and then I'm gonna go to the cash flow of real estate. Right.
Cool. Sure.
So, how the average 50,000 worker, teacher, firefighter, how do they get into the game of life insurance and how it's supposed to be used and get out of the death benefit of just saying, I got to die for my family to get something?
Yep. The first one, for an affordability standpoint, because today the argument online that you see a bunch of people online in social media, people are arguing versus what type of life insurance you have. Mm-hmm. The reality in America, it's not what type of life insurance you have. The fact that we have 50% of America that doesn't have life insurance, period. So forget what type, you just need to get it. So if you want to get it, easiest way to get life insurance get started is like $25, $50 a month. Just get a simple term insurance policy.
Yeah.
Just make sure your family isn't lacking exposure in case something happens to you. I mean, listen, I was just watching the documentary on Amazon about a young man coming out of South Side Chicago playing in Marshall High School. He's about to go, he's got a scholarship, about to go pro. And his biggest worry every day is not getting shot. Right? In South Side Chicago, his coach got shot, his buddy got shot. He's just worried, I just don't want to get shot. And we just interviewed Master P back in February. He said, imagine if everybody in the hood got life insurance, nobody would mess with people. You know why? You shoot somebody in the hood, they have a $500,000 life insurance policy. They can get the best lawyer to come do a lawsuit. Nobody's messing with this community no more.
Yep.
That's Master P's insight. You want to make sure there's wealth in the hood, buy an insurance policy.
Wow.
Yes.
So, and then get that habit, just like anything else. Everybody got into a habit, before cell phones were created, nobody had cell phones. Mm-hmm. Next thing you know, it's $100, $20 a month. Then people paid it. Yeah. It wasn't part of their budget before. Then they paid it. Then internet bill at home. I didn't have internet before. Then I paid it. So, and then on top of it, apps on the phone. You weren't budgeting apps on the phone, were you? But you just got the app. Now you're downloading the app. Now you want to buy the app. You weren't budgeting that extra $25, $50. Look at IG verification. Look what IG verification just did. People had so much vanity in getting their IG verified. What did they make? $660 million because 14 million people got verified, putting $15 a month into a verification to raise $660 million a month for Facebook. Do you realize for $15 a month, you can get a $100,000 life insurance policy? Mm-hmm. $15. At 25-year-old can get a $100,000 life insurance policy for the cost of verification on IG. Yes. You don't think about less than a Planet Fitness membership.
He's right.
So Bugs, let me throw it to you. How do you, because you say they use it as a bank, because how does a normal citizen use their life insurance as a bank? Because as we see life insurance is like, I'm paying something that I'm never going to see the benefit of until I die, and then my kids have it. but I don't, because let's be real. We
Sure.
want to enjoy the money that we're putting into a policy, even
Yeah.
if it's supposed to be for your significant ones. But how do we turn around and use that as a bank like everybody else?
It depends on how you actually have it structured. Structure is the key, okay? But make sure that you don't over leverage yourself out. As far as don't buy too much insurance that you can't pay for on a monthly or annual basis. So make sure that you're honest with your financial advisor when you get to setting it up. And typically what happens is, and I'm gonna use an example with real estate, for those flippers, people like to flip. This is a bad economy to do flipping in, but I'm gonna use to flip because it's the easiest thing to do. Say for instance, you buy a property for $100,000. It's worth $200,000, right? You bought it for a discount. You put about $25,000 into it. You're all in at a 125. Typically, you can refinance that at 75%. 200,000 times 75% is 150. 150 minus 125, you net 25K, right?
Mhm.
Now, what happens? People put that money into the bank. Here's the big thing about doing that is if you do that, guess who's coming for their cut? Uncle Sam. It's going to be at a 40% clip. Now, what can you do to decrease that, right? Decrease your tax liability, but still have access to the cash. This is when life insurance comes right into play. I take the $25,000, put into my life insurance policy. Now, get this. I have acquired insurance. Listen to my words. I've acquired insurance, right? I put 25K into that, right? Now, your CPA may say, well, you can't really write that off. They're correct about that. But here's the big thing about it is now I have $25,000 in a compound interest environment, right? So I can make anywhere from 7 to 10% compound interest. But I need access to my money, right? I can borrow from the life insurance at a 4% simple interest rate. I'm making 7 to 10. I'm gonna say 10 for example, and I'm only paying 4. My money never leaves the environment. My money is still making compound interest money. I borrow that money back out, typically at about an 80% of the 25K, which is fine. Put that into my bank. Now what happens is they can't tax a loan because I borrowed from the life insurance company. So now I have written off that 25K. I've written it off because I can write it off because it's debt now. That's how I pay literally zero in taxes legally because I utilize debt properly and combined with life insurance every day, all day.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so let me try to recap this, right? So after you flipped, you got 25K. You took that 25K, you put in the life insurance policy.
Yeah.
All right. You then, because it in the life insurance is a compound interest and it's not the savings account of the 0.5 and all that type of stuff.
No.
You're getting the 7 to 10%. You said 10%.
Yes.
Right. You then pull it out. It is now considered a loan.
Yes.
And you cannot be taxed on that.
It's correct because it's debt. Debt can be taxed.
So you're pulling your loan out at 4%. Your money is making 10%. So you come out on top on that side.
Yes.
And now you have the money to do whatever you need to do with it as your money's still growing in the life insurance.
Correct.
Now, and if I'm not mistaken, and please correct me if I'm wrong for both of you guys, the only way that you have to pay that back officially is if you die, they take it out of your death benefit. Is that correct?
That's right.
That's
right.
So if you have a $200,000 policy, you said you took out that $25,000 loan, paid 5 back, right? Let's just say you paid 5 back, and you got 20 left. They just take it out of the death benefit, and then they pay the rest to your family.
That's right.
Accordingly.
That's right. And I just want to also premise too as well, what I talked about earlier about $15 a month or $25 or $25 a month, that's not the style of insurance you would use to fund a bank.
Got you.
This is a form of renting to owning.
Yes.
So I can because that style was called renter's insurance, which is term insurance, which will expire. It'll terminate, but you can convert it 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the road to a permanent policy, of which then you can stuff that cash inside the policy. But at least what you lock in, Scott, at least what you lock in is your health. Because what happens if you wait to do this 3, 4, 5 years from now and your health were to change? Well, you can't get an insurance policy anymore.
Yes.
And so the other aspect to this, which helps a lot of real estate investors, is life insurance today also provides critical illness benefits.
Yes.
Meaning that if you have a heart attack, you have stroke, you have complications from diabetes, and they have to amputate a limb, or you get T-bone in an intersection. For example, one of our guys, Jesse, just got T-bone in an intersection. And if thank God he's fine, but let's say it got worse and you couldn't walk for 6 months and needed rehab. Well, you can get money from a life insurance policy, not the cash portion of it, but the death benefit portion, to make sure you pay your bills, do whatever you can as a percentage of you having a living benefit. Because the guy that built my website, moneysmartguy.com, he's reading my copy, he's looking at my videos, he calls me up and says, "Matt, I think I need to be your customer." He comes in, I said, "Why?" He has 4 kids, wife's from the south side of Chicago, he's from Trinidad and Tobago. He's got a couple people working for him in his graphic design company. We get him a policy for as little as $80 a month. Next thing you know, at 38 years old, 18 months later, brother has a stroke. Brother had a stroke. Anyway, insurance company kicks over a couple $100,000 from his life insurance policy, and he's free to spend it however he wants to spend it because he had a policy with living benefits attached. It's not terminal illness, completely different story. It was called living benefits, and he got that, and he was free to spend it however he wants to spend it.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. I think, you said earlier, Mr. SAPAULA, you said about the mindset, right? And I think half the battle is education, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I want to go to, and I think this is so important because a lot of people don't understand and everything. But I want to, somebody asked, they wanted to know what's some good books to get. I know you got all of them behind you, Matt, but what's some good books to get, Mr. Bugs and Mr. Matt? What you guys got?
I would say,
go ahead.
I would say number one, Faith Made Millionaire by Matt SAPAULA. I got to give my man some support. All right. I gotta give him that. Number 2, Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki.
Oh, for sure, 100%.
All right. Number 3, Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki. Then I would say number 4. What's Patrick's name of Patrick's book? Next 15 Moves, Next 5 Moves by Patrick B. David. And I'd say the 5th one, I would say God's Big Idea by Dr. Miles Monroe.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. All right, Mr. Matt, I think he grabbing a few of them off the shelf. I done read a few of these.
Yeah, Ladale was mentioned. He was mentioned. You got to read Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yes.
By the way, a lot of people don't realize he was also a United States Marine. He was a Huey pilot during Vietnam.
Oh wow. Yeah.
So Rich Dad Poor Dad, and he talked about Cash Flow Quadrant, which I think is his best one. This one was more mindset, attitude that it's okay to think differently than everybody in your family, in your neighborhood, and everybody in the block. It's okay to think differently. But this one here gave you specific strategy of how to make your money. Right? And so and then of course one of the ways that his CPA, tax-free wealth, a lot of strategy we talk about.
I have that book.
Yep.
I haven't read it yet, but I gotta read it. Now I gotta read it.
For sure. Patrick, go to your Next 5 Moves.
Next 5 Moves.
Good book. Great book.
Got another question from I'm 24, got life insurance with my company, but looking to have my own. What's a good company? Looking for a couple $1 million policy for real. Big money.
Yeah. Smart move. He's 24 years old. You can get a lot of life insurance for little coverage. If you wait till like 34, 44, 54, you got to pay more cash. So this Bishop, he's going to have a light years ahead because the greatest financial money making asset that you have right now is time. The earlier you can start this motion of what Ladale was talking about earlier, compounding interest working for you, the 8th wonder of the world. That's why life insurance policies can be written for babies at 9 days old.
Yes.
So anyway, there's if you're looking for a specific, like for example, you're talking about right now, like an infinite banking or maximum funded type of life insurance retirement plan. You got National Life Group, you got North American, you got American National, you got John Hancock, you got Pacific Life. I mean, there's handful. There's not very many that will fit this style. So make sure you're working together with an agent that understands the strategy and has access to these companies, because this is not your Allstate, State Farm, insurance policy at all.
I would say this here, Bishop, as well. Go to titmwealth.com, titmwealth.com, and you can schedule a time with one of our people, and they'll walk you through the whole process. You'll actually walk through a policy with actually Sheena SAPAULA, which is Matt's wife. She'll walk you through everything you need to know. Just go titmwealth.com, and you can schedule time. That's it, and you're good to go. That'd be it. And we can walk through all those those processes as well.
Hey, listen, they Miss Sheena walked me through mine. I just got to prove,
For sure.
you know what I'm saying? But no, hey, Bishop, man, listen, easy. She's so sweet, man. She's nice. I mean, she breaks it down. She shows you what you can, like, they literally have a model where they can show you what your compound interest looks like when you can start pulling the money out. Absolutely great people, great person. Love Machina. She was, shout out to that. Let's get into the little cash flow. Right. Let's talk a little cash flow with you. You have this cash flow club.
Oh, yeah.
Bugs. Explain a little bit about to the people this cash flow club.
Well, cash flow club is something that me and my partner Cliff Hunter, he's a licensed appraiser as well as a general contractor and a very successful real estate investor himself. And people are always, a lot of the times, they come to us and ask us, how can I begin investing in real estate? And so they actually want us to sit down and teach them one-on-one how to do it, but we didn't have any time. And so they said, well, can you actually make some type of online training for us to do? And you can kind of come in, we create a community. So I said, okay, that's fine. But then it kind of morphed into something bigger to where people bring their problems. Hey, I got a deal in Michigan that I'm trying to acquire. I have this issue. And so one of the members say, this is what I did to solve that problem. They could join for their partner as well. People also bring their deals up there, and we actually fund deals ourselves. We'll fund it, and we'll profit share as well. Also, we'll teach you how to structure the deal, or how to write the contract, how to pull the comparables, how to put together a scope of work, all of that there. I think it's really wise to walk through the process so you can actually learn real world at the exact same time make money. So that's what the Cash Flow Club realistically is. Now,
let me ask you this. With today's economy, right? With I've seen, I think Open Door, they say Open Door is buying properties, all like just doing crazy stuff. How would somebody get into real estate in this day and age, in this time period? And how would you, what advice would you give them on that process?
I would say the most powerful strategy right now is what is called joint venture investing.
Okay.
The reason why is because of the fact that we're going into a very tumultuous time. If you guys have seen a lot of banks that failed. You had First Republic Bank, their stock plummeted to 48 hours ago, because they lost $100 billion worth of deposits.
Oh, wow.
They were acquiring T-bills and government bonds. They were paying 5%. But what happens is that they bought those bonds at 1%. And then the government, who told them they were going to raise those rates, and then now they're upside down. So depositors got concerned and withdraw they cash out. So that's what's going on with that as well. So there's three strategies. The first one is subject to investing. I won't go into that a little bit more. The second one is seller financing investing, and the third one is joint venture investing. Probably the most powerful out of the three is joint venture investing, because you get to partner with someone that actually has the cash, maybe the credit profile, and the experience to assist you in acquiring the property. You just bring the deal, the other person brings the cash, and you guys profit share. It's real simple. That's how I got started. Typically, to be honest, via joint venture scenario. That's how I paid a rent for my wedding, to be honest with you.
Oh, wow.
It's via a joint venture partnership. That was my first investment that I actually acquired. Was a real investment that I acquired was a joint venture investment. Yeah.
Yeah, and the way I went from my apartment to our first home in a well-to-do neighborhood with great schools for the kids is a seller financing strategy for me. I walked up to a guy and said, listen, you willing to sell your house? I'm willing to rent it to you for 12, 18 months. Here's $10,000. I'll rent it to you for $3,000 a month, which is $500 above what you're asking for rent. But you can keep that chunk, and I want to negotiate you're going to sell it to me in the next 12 to 18 months. So I take it off the market, and you're selling it, and I'll take care of your property because I want to own it one day.
Yeah.
So that's how I got my first house. And I was the only brown kid in an all-white neighborhood in Chicago. Right?
Yeah.
I went in there. I was playing financial offense, baby. I was in there with the 1996 Chevy, 1997 Chevy. What was it? No, it was like a 2003 Chevy Tahoe, dropped 23-inch rims, 12-inch subs. Everybody thought I was a drug dealer.
Yeah.
They think the neighbors think I'm selling dope.
What you slanging over there, man?
Oh my goodness. Listen. Oh man. I want to get down to the nitty gritty, right?
Okay.
If you had, did I ask this question? If you had to start over?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
I asked that, right?
No, yeah.
What are some key principles to wealth, right? Like things that you instill in your kids, because that to me is what I think of key principles, right? Because when I walk with my kids every day, I tell them, I ask them, what is a leader? A leader is somebody who thinks for themselves, right?
Yeah.
What is integrity? Integrity is doing something when no one else is looking. Honesty is what? Honesty is the best part. Like those are just things that I have ingrained in them because I think those are things that you just need to have as life goes on and as you grow. What are some key wealth principles that you would instill to your own son and daughter to say, hey, listen, I don't have this, I don't have that, but I can tell you if you do this, this, and this, it will get you to a better situation or to where I'm at right now?
I will say this here. This is a principle that I teach my kids. And I have it written down. I write it down every single day. I put money management is the key to prosperity in the middle of poverty. So
say that. You gotta bring that back. You gotta bring.
Management is the key to prosperity in the middle of poverty. And so for me, I teach my kids how to budget, the value of credit, the value of business credit, how to build assets, how to structure the business as well. Like my daughter has already began a jewelry business. She's 14. My 10-year-old wants to begin to sell paintings online. And so we're putting together structure for her to get that accomplished as well. And when my kids were actually born, we put life insurance on them immediately. So they actually have cash value already in their life insurance. My kids have 3 policies, 3 a piece. My wife has 2. I have 1. So we have a total of what was that? 9 policies?
In the
9
house.
policies in the house. And I'm actually going to acquire 2 more because I got to. I got to do it. But I view that as assets. I teach them what are truly assets. And I said, what? And I teach them what's the school taught you as assets. Let's show you what the true benefit of assets. And I always say, the bank or lender is not going to look at your report card to give you money. They're going to look at your balance sheet and your income statement. Those 2 things. So I'm teaching them how to walk through that as well also. So that's why I teach my kids.
What you got, Mr. SAPAULA?
Bro, I just jotted 5 down right quick. I'll blow through them, but you just inspired me to put down 5. This is going to be a tweet thanks to you.
Make sure you add me off script.
I'll add you all the way. I'm sorry. Number 1, no one owes you anything. Not a government, not a church, not a relative, not an athlete. Nobody owes you nothing. God gave you breath in your lungs, and you can walk around today. You got everything you need to make it through this day. Let's go. Okay, nobody owes you anything, because the opposite of that is entitlement.
Yes.
Victim, blame, game, all that stuff. The moment you take ownership over everything in your life is going to be much better. Number 2, always find a problem, so therefore you can create a solution.
There you go.
Entrepreneurs are great at finding ways to help you make your life easier.
Yes.
And once you do that, guess what? Everything, technology we're using today, the laptops we're using today, the microphone that's on your headset, StreamYard, coffee, cell phone, internet, because somebody was thinking about, how do I make somebody's life better, and how can I profit from that convenience? Number 3, life gives to the givers, takes from the takers, and has a very accurate accounting system.
Ooh, say that again, man. Say that again.
Bro, you got me ripping. Life gives to the givers, takes from the takers, and has a very accurate accounting system. Once you got it, you better have this not hoarding mentality. You better start giving it, right? How do I serve? How do I give it to you? Number 4, education will make you a living, but self-learning will build you a life.
Yes.
Isn't it funny how in school we're given a lesson, then we're taking a test? But life is what? Opposite. You're given a test, and then you're given a lesson.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's life. And last but not least, man, I won't bore you guys. And last but not least, when much is given, much is expected. All I have is because the big man upstairs gave it to me, man.
Amen.
He's like me to be a proper steward over it. If I'm not a proper steward over it, he's going to take it away and give it to somebody else who's going to multiply it. Because our job is to multiply. It's not to divide. It's not to subtract. It's to make more of it.
And, and I'm gonna say this here as well to kind of add on to that.
Oh, come on.
Value always chases money. Always chases value. If you're chasing money, you're not presenting value.
Oh, come on.
You will be broke for the rest of your life. Money always chases value, all the time. And so no matter if I'm presenting in front of an investment bank, talking to someone that wants to sell me their apartment complex or subdivision or a home or a mansion, whatever it may be, what I'm doing is I'm always presenting value. If I tell everybody, what's the quickest way to get money in real estate? Bring a deal. Bring a valuable deal. Because if it's a valuable deal, you have to bring no money to the table because the deal itself is so valuable.
Mm-hmm.
So always present value because money will always chase it.
You guys have been, I'll say, leaders in your industry. You know, what were some of the pitfalls that you experienced, you know, to get there, right? Because it's always like you're riding this wave, and then you're like, who cut the water off? You know what I'm saying? And you like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Everything was cool. You know what I'm saying? What are some pitfalls that you've experienced? Because what people have to understand is success doesn't. I love this picture. They say success never looks like an escalator, right? It's like the snakes and ladders. You know, you go and you slide down, and you keep going and you slide down. So if you could explain to some people what were some of your pitfalls or some of your mistakes that you made along the way.
I would say for me, not listening to my wife. My wife was my wife was the one who pushed me into entrepreneurship. I'll give you an example. I remember I was working for the Xerox Corporation when we first got married. 6 months into the job, they let me go. So I'm in Dallas. I'm getting on 635. We had just bought 2 new cars, and I just got to let go. And I'm driving, and I'm getting on 635, and I call my wife, and I say, honey, they let me go. And she said, maybe it's not for you to have a job. And I said, what? I was expecting for her to go in on me.
Mm-hmm.
But she said, no, maybe you're called to be an entrepreneur. She said, hey, let's do this here. I'm a full-time teacher making great money. Hey, you build the business. I'll go work. What we'll do is we will contract what we spend. So we have to go to the bare minimum now. But 3 or 4 years, you build the business. That first 3 or 4 years was tough. It was tough because I'm so creative. I didn't really have a mentor. And so wisdom is borrowed knowledge, someone teaching you, and experienced balanced together. But because I was so creative, I had to go through those pitfalls. And so I lost money on some deals, made money on some deals, lost money on some deals, made some money on deals. But at the exact same time, by doing it, at times I got very overconfident. And so another pitfall of mine was what did your grandma say? Boy, you think your britches smell good. Sometimes my britches I thought my britches smelled good. And the Lord he will help me a lot. And so for me, it was listening to my wife and becoming overconfident. Now I love being the dumbest person in the room.
Ooh,
I love that because of the fact that for me, I like to be quick to hear and slow to speak, so I can be kind of a chameleon. I can listen. I can chime in when I need to, and that type of approach has got me into some powerful rooms. I mean, being able to sit down with Robert Kiyosaki, Matt with Master P, Patrick David is another guy. That's Matt's mentor, Patrick David, which is great. A lot of guys you see on TV, Jahendra Raja, Brian Adams, and there's another real estate mogul as well. Being able to sit down with them, and now I'm in a room now negotiating, buying 3 apartment complexes on the campus of Michigan State University, and I'm buying them for like 40 cents on the dollar. 40 cents on the dollar. And I learned that skill by being able to be on people like Dwayne Lees, who was a former lobbyist in the Reagan administration, being under them and just being able to be quick to hear, so to speak. So don't be so fast to talk, guys. Listen, you'll learn a lot more with those 2 years if you shut your one mouth.
Oh, I love it. Man, y'all are dropping some gems. I ain't even gonna hold you. I am not even gonna hold you. What you got, Mr. SAPAULA?
By the way, this right here is a version of what we do in masterminds. This is how we vibe. That's why masterminds are so cool, because this doesn't stop. We can go hours doing this type of stuff. But I'll share some three major pitfalls of mine. Number one, I celebrated too early. So
hold on. Listen. You're like, people, like, come on, man. Like, that's real. That's real, Mr. Matt. That is a real thing, because you like, I did it. And you're like, man, like, do it again and again. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You're like that player that toasted the cornerback. And you pulled up celebrating the 20-yard line, headed to the goal line. You're clowning everybody.
Yeah.
But some guys
chasing you down. Fumble. Go ahead.
Because I remember making my first $10,000 a month, thinking as an entrepreneur is going to come again next month. If I didn't work, nope, sorry, zero. So I really made $5,000 over 2 months, not $10,000 a month. So part of entrepreneurship, listen, bro, the best part about entrepreneurship, you're your own boss. The worst part of entrepreneurship,
you're your own boss. Yeah.
Number two, I picked the wrong partner, both personal in marriage and business. For me, I was winging my personal life. I thought, yeah, you know what? Listen, I was young 20s. Listen, if I could be transparent, I thought 80%, 90% of a marriage was sex. Okay? Stupid. Okay, judge me now. That was, by the way, that was pre-Christ. Okay?
Yeah.
But 89%, I'm all right, man. I can do this every night. Next thing you know, I got to wake up. I got to deal with you. Oh, we don't have the same values and principles. Oh, you like to spend money. Oh, you like to discipline away. Oh, this is conflict. Oh, now you want to hold my kids away from me. Oh, what? Only evenings and weekends? What? Who are you? I'm the dad. So you picked the wrong partner, man. It's chaos. Yeah. I picked the wrong business partner in haste to get radio exposure. Next thing you know, the guy was, instead of investing it in real estate, he was investing it in his own pocket. And then everybody in the radio station got sued. And I had to spend $30,000 to prove myself innocent because I wasn't collecting any of the money. But everybody in that radio show got sued. In my haste of not doing due diligence on the co-host and the sponsor of the show. That's another pitfall. That's a real mistake. I put that in my book. And number three, I wasn't thinking long-term. I was just thinking too short-term, short, scale. And next thing you know, I painted myself in a corner. And next thing you know, I faced burnout. So that's a bad place to be in when you're an entrepreneur. When people depend upon you, you burn out unless you're thinking system scale. You put all that pressure on your shoulders. Once I started thinking scale, and then I create systems, and then I create processes, and then I create people to run those things, then I could find myself my power spot that got me here. So those are my pitfalls.
I both of you guys have said the same word multiple times, and I've heard you guys mentors.
Yeah.
Right? Mentors. You know, you say I'm a mentee. You know, like they taught me this. This person did this and this person did that. How do people? One, how do you go find a mentor? Whatever field that you could be in. You know, it could be in philosophy, it could be in art, it could be in whatever. And when as you guys are now in those power positions, when a mentee wants to approach you, how would you prefer somebody approach you and say, hey, you know, I want to be mentored by you? What are you looking for that person that is asking to be mentored? And Matt, I'm gonna start with you, then Mr. Bugs, I'm gonna let you close it out.
Yeah. Okay. So you think that a mentor is supposed to pour into you just because he's got all this free time, right? For example, I just actually, I don't know if you guys know who Pastor John Gray is.
Yeah.
So I ran into him 10 years ago in Chicago, and we're just texting back and forth. I found that he followed my content, and I'm like, Pastor John Gray, could you consider being my mentor? What do you need? I'll do anything for you. What do you need? How can I serve you? Forget what I need. What do you need? What can I do for you? Right? And he's responding back and forth. Well, right. So that it wasn't necessarily about me. It's about what do you need? That's how I'm looking for a mentor, because I'm looking for him to mentor me in a spiritual life.
Yes.
Aspect of my life, right? And when I do have time with him, I have to have a series of questions I got to be ready to ask. And then those series of questions, when you ask them, you got to show them in the next 1, 2, 3 weeks or next month, next 30 days in short order, how implementing those things you talked about, you did, and these are the results. Because if you're showing that, they're like, oh, I'm investing my time. It's earning a rate of return, not necessarily for me, but I'm showing that I'm mentoring someone and it's working. Hello, let's go. What else you want to know? Yeah. Right. And so I've done that with my mentor, Patrick McDavid. I approached him 8 years ago. I said, PBD, I think I put myself in a self-employed corner. I'm stuck on just buying leads and doing dinner seminars. And I'm at 130% commission contract. And if I don't buy leads and don't do dinner summers, I'll never make any money. How do I scale? How do I actually recruit, train, and develop people? And he showed me some, boom, your next 5 moves. And next thing you know, he puts me in page 48 because I qualified for a trip with him. We went to Dubai. And my wife and I were arguing in the elevator. Next thing the elevator opens up. Do you think we stopped arguing? No, we were. And then the couple's so uncomfortable, like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? We leave. We're going to a safari trip. Hey, Patrick, how you doing? Next thing you know, the same couple that was in an elevator went to go to see Patrick. Hey, Patrick's like, oh, I need you to meet this couple. They're awesome couple. They're fireball. I'm excited to mentor them. Here they are. It was us. Patrick, I want you to know that they were arguing really bad in the elevator. Are you sure they're your real next superstars?
Yeah.
But that was just the pressure we're under as entrepreneurs. You know, just to be real. So, just being real with your mentor, and then if your mentor has to if you have to keep saying the same thing to you over and over again because you want an answer your way instead of the way they're mentoring you, you've fired yourself from your mentor.
Yes.
What you got, Mr. T? How does a mentee? What are you looking for in a mentee? How do they need to approach you?
What is your purpose? Do you have a vision? My people perish because they don't have a vision. And so the first question that I ask someone that wants me to mentor them is, what's your vision? What's your goal? If they don't have a goal or a vision, I can assist you because I don't know where we're going. Vision, wealthy people plan for three generations. Broke people plan for Saturday night. So I'm
slow that down. Slow. Come on now, y'all can't be. Listen, man, y'all can't be just speeding through stuff, man.
My bad.
You gotta remix this like Diddy. You know, you gotta bring it
my
back.
bad. My bad.
For the people in the back.
In the back row, okay. Wealthy people plan for 3 generations. Broke people plan for Saturday night. And if you're planning for Saturday night, me actually asking you the question, what's your vision?
That was me.
Your answer is going to let me know how you're planning. That is the vetting question for me when it comes to someone seeking to be mentored by me. And that happens a lot, and it's all good by God's grace. Number 2, when I'm looking for a mentor, someone that can mentor me, I'm just like, Matt, how can I help you? I got to make sure that our visions are aligned, number 1. So I'm asking myself that same question when I'm searching for a mentor. Then what I do is I ask them, what can I do to serve you for free? I don't want nothing in return because I'm asking them for time. And time is the most valuable investment because you can't get it back once you spend it. So I have to be very cognizant of how I ask the one I'm mentoring, how they're going to invest in me. And the thing about it is I want to overproduce of what I'm asking them to do for me. And so, like for instance, I met Matt guys, last year in August, we were actually flying from the Vault conference,
right?
Patrick's conference he does every year. I probably end up going again this year. And I know a lot of the principles, but just being in those masterminds, and I don't lie to you, I hadn't been in that type of scenario in a long time. I think I was there for 4 days. I got pitched 25 times in 4 days. 25 times just for real estate deals. 70% of people that were there were in real estate. And I actually had 4 hours of sleep every day. I was super tired. And after the Vote conference, everybody came to my room and we had another 3 hours of a mastermind just on real estate alone. So I was spent. And so I'm flying back. Me and Matt, we talked a little bit when I was there. I'm flying back first class. And I walk onto the plane and I was like, son of a bitch. Matt was sitting right there. I was like, man, I'm sitting by Matt. Man, him started talking, man, about life, the Bible, our families, business, politics, army, money, things of that nature. And as we're talking, we have the same language. And then what happened was everybody that comes to me that asks me for mentor, they say, LADALE, once I get the bag, how do I manage it? And I was like, well, this is what I do. So I would tell them what I do. Well, who should I go to for that? And so I was like, let me talk to Matt. I said, oh, man, people call me all the time, man, asking what they get the bag, man. How do they do this, man? I can send them over to you. And Matt was like, man, Dale, you know the language, man. How about you and I partner up? And I'm like, Matt, bro, I ain't got time for that, bro. I said, I got a full balance sheet, a full plate. My wife said, I have time. And so I said, Matt said, Dale, I got it. Come on. I got you. I said, okay. So my wife and I partner with Matt and his team, and she's kicking ass right now. She's killing it. And all I'm saying is, guys, so we're teaching them what we do every single day. So this is how we manage the bag, which is pretty cool. So that's what I would do when it comes to a mentor. And so in this space, Matt is mentoring me a little bit more. Now I know a lot about it as well, but from a scalability standpoint, when it comes to that type of service, Matt is the expert. When it comes to real estate, Matt calls me, Dale, I'm looking for office. Who should I talk to? Oh, talk to my guy over here. He's going to do XYZ for you. So we're giving equal exchange of value all the time. I know. I very rarely call Matt. I call Matt sometimes, but I text him, hey, man, this is the question I got. Answer back to me. Because why? I know Matt is busy, so am I.
Yeah.
So we talk a lot via text message, if that makes some sense.
I like it. I'm gonna do this question. I'm gonna ask you guys a question, then we're gonna get up out of here.
Okay.
Everybody trying to shoot back over to the NFL draft. And guys, if you're loving this and you want a part 2 to this, and anything that you want specific or questions asked, please drop them in the chat real quick before we get up out of here. All right. John says, is it wise to buy index funds, REITs, and MLPs?
Got that, Matt? You want me to do it?
I'll do the short answer is yes. Yes. I love buying when things are cheap, of course, but you got index funds is easy. You just got to find the right REITs and MLPs, master limited partnerships. Yeah, I
got different perspectives on REITs. I'm not a fan of REITs because of the fact that REITs are tied to the stock market, and stock market can be manipulated. I like for my money to be behind something tangible that I can feel, touch it when it comes to real estate.
Yeah.
And so for me, I would much rather invest into a real estate investment fund where I become co-owner in the fund, and I get the waterfall distribution of the net cash flows out of the fund, if that makes some sense.
Okay. So for you, it's a real estate fund of investing in that. I get a percentage of the deal of what comes down. Okay. I like that. Now, let me ask you this, you all, both of you guys, because you guys about the money, and we talked about the bag, right? But everybody doesn't have the $100,000 bag. So I'm gonna give you 3 increments, right? What would you do if you had $1,000, right? What would you do if you had $10,000? And what would you do if you had $50,000? How would you move those increments of money? If you only had 1,000 saved, what would you go do? If you had 10,000 saved, what would you go do? And if you had 50 plus saved, what would you do? Who wants to take that first?
I'll go first.
That was my progression.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead, man. Do your thing.
That's straight up my progression. Okay. So my first 1,000, I got my business set up. I got my insurance license. I got my LLC set up for $1,000. Okay. I was able to buy a bunch of books on sales and marketing, because again, entrepreneurship and money is a language. The way you learn a language is by immersing yourself in that language. You just can't, have time. You got to immerse yourself. The reason why I got a part-time job at the YMCA from 5 to 8 o'clock in the morning when I was a single dad of 3 kids is so it forced me to read for 3 hours a day, because nobody's swimming at 5 to 8 o'clock in the morning at the YMCA. So I'm reading books, Magic of Thinking Big, Power of Positive Thinking, Richest Man in Babylon, How I Raised Myself and Failed Success in Selling. I was reading books for 3 hours a day for almost a year as a lifeguard at the YMCA, getting paid to do it, but because nobody's swimming at 5 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, let me stop you real quick, Mr. Paula. Give me an entrepreneur side and then give me the regular day worker, okay? Because I know a lot of people are like, man, I'm not an entrepreneur. I can't see myself doing that. Now maybe side hustle stuff, but talk to me in the entrepreneurship and then hit me with the everyday worker. What can they do if they?
Okay. And if I'm an everyday worker, I have no desire to ever make a side hustle. You're going to be constantly across somebody as payroll. The first thing that's taken out of your check every day at time is taxes. No problem. First thing I would do is if with $1,000, if I have any debt, half of that I'm paying off all my debt. Because I don't want interest working against me. I want money working for me. Now, the other part of that is making sure I put inside that either index fund or start my infinite banking maximum funded life insurance policy if I can do that on a monthly basis. If I can't do it on a monthly basis, I'm just starting with a term insurance policy because I was a single dad of 3 kids that later on I can convert.
Okay. All right. 10,000. Hit me. No, I'm gonna go with you, Mr. Bugs. $1,000 entrepreneurship, $1,000 worker.
I'm gonna surprise Matt. As an entrepreneurship, if I had $1,000, I'd set up my business and I would actually begin a life insurance business.
Oh wow!
Through a scalability, because of the fact that the fastest way. Who was it? I would say the fastest way you can actually make some money is if you in an industry that can pay you a pretty big commission check for reasonable work. And in the financial services space, with the right business model and the right counsel to help you scale, life insurance is a phenomenal thing, because in this climate, people are looking, if you have a 401k, an IRA, a Roth IRA, a 403b, you better move that money before the third and fourth quarter this year. Because of the fact that it's going to get real bad, because of the fact that, think about this, the bond market and the T-bill market is crumbling. How do we know that? Banks are failing. That whole market is crumbling. And guess what your retirement accounts are invested in? Government bonds and T-bills. I feel sorry for you if you don't move your money, because it's going to get wiped out. It is.
And by the way, if everybody here tonight, Google industry most likely to make you a millionaire. Industry most likely to millionaire. Google industry most likely to make you a billionaire. At the top, it's not even our website. At the top is the insurance industry.
He's right.
Insurance and financial services. And if you're anticipating a wave of money coming from one asset class to another asset class, why does money come to an asset class when there's risk, when there's war? There it is. Bam. There it is. Number one.
Financial services.
Financial services is it.
Now as a 9-to-5 worker with $1,000, I would mimic what Matt is talking about. I would pay down any interest that I actually have, so the interest is not working against me. I like interest working for me. That's why seller financing to me as an investment strategy is so appealing, because I can be the bank to somebody else.
Gotcha.
I can literally pay that banking game.
Before we go to 10,000, Jen J says, I have an MMSA, I have I bonds and stocks, trying to build my passive income through joint venture. How can I find a good joint venture?
What type of joint venture is he looking for? As far as what industry is he looking to do that? Is he looking to move the money to a better environment and then do joint venture partnerships, which is what I would do, or is he wanting to leave the money there? What is he wanting to do?
That is your homework to do, Jen. Put it back in the chat while we continue on to the conversation. All right, 10,000 entrepreneur,
all right,
10,000 worker. Where you at, Mr. Bugs? And
so I came across 10,000. It's called a credit card. I learned because I learned about money. I learned about personal credit. I learned about business credit. Got my first $10,000. This is a 2003, 2004. So I finally got $10,000 on business credit card. $8,000 of it went to mentoring. And I bought actually I got the OG book. I got the original book. I spent $8,000 to spend with the New York Times best-selling author, and there it is, June of 2005.
Wow.
Okay? Because I realized that I went to his office in Salt Lake City, and I realized that there's a correlation between real estate, insurance, and mortgages.
Yes.
And so it's right. So I think there's got to be something. How do I run the illustration to complement the real estate and insurance business? And so what happened is I took the $8,000, and Wachovia ended up sponsoring all of my financial seminars, because I was originating 20, 30 loans for the bank, and I'm not even a loan officer.
Yeah.
Because I was encouraging everybody to come across, hey, buy real estate or refinance your house to buy more real estate and fund your infinite banking strategy.
Yeah.
From the $8,000. So this $8,000 today indirectly it made me tens of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
From $8,000.
Yes.
And then the other 2,000 from that 10,000, I invest in my first marketing campaign, which I did. I did a 5,000 piece marketing campaign, five zip codes, direct mailed them to come to my dinner seminar. I pitched them on 10 ideas I learned from this workshop. I came across 10, 15 clients. Those 10, 15 clients paid me 30, 40 grand. I'm off to the races.
Yes. Yes.
To the races.
Yes.
That's how I did it in the insurance business. Okay, if I'm a $10,000 consumer and I'm not thinking about an entrepreneur, same thing. I make sure I'm all completely debt free. I'd start padding up my savings account. I think somebody said I had MMSA money market savings accounts. And then I get ready. I get that money ready to deploy into something. When I hear something like LADALE talking, let me get involved in some form of active and or passive investment.
Got you. The Bug, she said, move it into real estate.
What I would do is this here, because I'm assuming you have some liquid cash. What I would do is I would get that money first. I have three things that I talk about. I always say insure, leverage, and then protect, in that order. So the first portion is insure. I would put that money into a life insurance environment immediately. Why? Because you want your money working harder for you while it's sitting there parked until you find the right investment. Then I would properly leverage. Now, what I mean by leverage, what I would do is I would borrow certain money out of life insurance policy, put it into your account, your bank account, which is great for you. No problem with it at all. So that you're ready to deploy the capital into a real estate investment, whether it be a joint venture or whatever it may be. And then, of course, you protect that real estate investment with insurance and with the property negotiation. That's what I would actually do. And I would say, Jay, I would look at joint venture partner with somebody right now, because right now is probably the best time to buy real estate because you can buy properties below wholesale. When I buy real estate, I buy it well below wholesale, like below wholesale. I literally take home cash when I buy properties, literally. At the closing. Yeah.
at the closing.
Yes. When I buy it. Not when I sell it, when I buy it. Yeah. I do. I like now Jim J, he said treasury bonds at 6%. You're right, but a lot of these banks bought those T-bills and bonds at 1-2%, and they ignored the Fed chairman when he said he was going to raise the rates, and now it's at 5-6%. So now a lot of them are underwater. That's why First Republic Bank is now that their stock has plummeted because the positives got scared. That's why Silvergate tanked, Silicon Valley Bank tanked, Credit Suisse tanked as well. Is because of that whole T-bill and bond. That bond market is crashing.
Wow. All right, Mr. Bugs, we're going 10,000 consumer, 10,000 entrepreneur, and then last one, Matt, we're going to 50 and plus. But it's on you, Mr. B.
10,000 entrepreneur. What I would do is I would take 2,000 of that, and this is for real estate. I would say I would buy a real estate course. That's what I would do. Invest a real estate course to learn the craft of real estate, $2-3 grand. Mm-hmm. That $7,000. What I would do is I would put a marketing plan together with your real estate partner to generate some leads to be able to acquire a discount property. That's all I would do. It's real simple. When as a consumer, I would kind of mimic Matt, pay down any additional debt that you may have. Then what I would do is I would then park that money in the right environment and get ready to deploy that cash into a passive type of investment. That's what I would do. So
got you. Let me see. Bishop Bonner comes back and says, what about construction? I'm looking to get GC license in a couple of years.
Construction, are you talking about new construction or are you becoming a general contractor? Which construction are you talking about? I love new construction projects. I'm actually building 100 homes now. And so in Atlanta, that closes in 30 to 45 days, and in Starkville, Mississippi. Literally, I love new construction.
All right, Bishop, that's your homework. All right, Mr. Matt, you're going 50,000 entrepreneur, 50,000 consumer, 50 plus.
So entrepreneur. Okay, so this is assuming that you've got a model that's working. Mm-hmm. Okay, by now, if you got $50,000 from your business, in other words, the coolest part about understanding how to become a millionaire is if you know how to sell a product that makes you, let's say, $500, all you got to figure out is how to sell more of it. Yeah. So for example, if I'm doing the math, and I'm making $500 per sale and a commission, I need to sell 2,000 of it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I need to sell 2,000 of this product. So by the time I know how to sell something for $500, I'm assuming I have the skills. Keyword there was marketing. So how do I start marketing myself at that basis? I'd find ways to hire a marketing assistant, a marketing campaign program. We're doing one right now, similar at different levels because we have multiple business started where we're using social media marketing. These are leads I'm getting from my social media marketing to buy insurance using Facebook ads, social media ads. And by the way, it doesn't take a lot of money. I'm paying per lead. We're paying $2 per lead per opt-in. So it's not like it's a lot of money. Maybe out of those 2 people that submit, 10 people, 5 people, $2. I mean, 20, 30 people say, okay, talk to me. Now I'm talking to somebody who wants me to talk to them.
Yes.
So I'm not cold calling. I'm not knocking on doors and the value that we're creating online, the economy that's created because of social media today. People get to know you, get to trust you. They connect a face with a voice when they finally hear your name, call them on the phone, and it accelerates the process. And so it'd be a marketing campaign staff, entrepreneurial wise. I'm hiring somebody that's going to be my chief of staff. I'm looking for somebody that's going to be my ride or die. For example, Karen, she's been with me now Karen's been with me for 8-9 years. She's been my ride or die. Why? Because the first $50,000 I earned, I'm hiring staff. Even though I don't know if I could pay her after 90 days, I don't know if I could pay her. But guess what she started doing after 90 days? She helped optimize my business, generate revenue in my business.
Yes.
That person, she's valuable. She gets bonuses. I told her, Lord willing, I'm here to run my business. You always have a job.
Yes.
And so that's what I with 3 grand. Consumer wise, investor wise, I'm packing my life insurance policy, baby. I'm stuffing that policy, infinite banking all the way.
Amen.
And everything. My mindset is I'm no longer going to be borrowing down the road from a bank. I'm becoming the bank. Just get that money growing and compounding.
Sure.
And getting established.
Guys, listen, if you want to know more about the infinite banking and what they're talking about, SAPAULA, Mr. Bugs have combined together like the Wonder Twins. All right, they combined together and I'm telling you, his wife, Miss Sheena, is the sweetest. It ain't salesy. It ain't salesy. It ain't none of that. She is the sweetest lady that you can talk to. She will answer all your questions. Go to titmwealth.com. Even if you're like, hey, I'm a little nervous about it, I promise you, she will walk you step by step.
She's good.
Will show you exactly what your money will look like in the right plan, all right, and everything like that. The only thing she cannot promise is that your health is good enough to get the policy.
There you go.
Oh,
thank you. The only thing she cannot promise.
Yes, sir.
All right, that your health is good enough to get the policy. But what she will tell you is if you have kids, you can get it on your kid.
Yes, you can.
You'll be the owner of it. So there's always ways around it. So if you're trying to understand what they're talking about and you're like, Scott, this is a little too much. Listen, I'm telling you, set up a time with Miss Sheena. She's the sweetest lady. Mr. Bug's wife, they're the sweetest lady. I'm telling you, I was late. Okay. I was like 15 minutes late and they were just like, it's okay, Scott. I felt like trash. Anyway, I'm telling you, listen, you know me, I keep it a buck with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Go there, set up your meeting and just talk about it. Just understand. Sure. And the best thing that I love what Miss Sheena does, and I'm telling you guys, she will literally show you, like, no bull crap. She tells you how much money you want to put in. You want to put that in? Boom. This is what it's going to look like. This is when you'll be able to pull out your money. This is what all that. I'm telling you. So she will dive deep into it. Go check out the website. Go make your time. Yeah. This is for you guys. All right. This ain't for them. They good. Okay. This for you. All right. All right, Mr. Bugs. 50 for consumer, 50 for entrepreneur.
50 for consumer. I'm going to copy what Matt did. I'm going to stuff my life insurance policy. Stuff it, and begin looking at ways to deploy that capital into a cash flow scenario. No problem. As an entrepreneur, I'm a big proponent of education because business skills attract cash. And so I want to take a portion of probably another $5,000 and continue education. And then what I would do is with the rest of the $45,000, I'm looking for a real estate investment, whether it be going into a real estate fund or a individual project like maybe a single-family residence that I can bring some cash to, leverage properly as well to acquire, renovate, refinance the long-term debt, and cash flow it. That's how I would do it. So that's how I'll spend the $50,000. Got
you. Let me go to Bishop Bonnet. He puts that's my guy right there. He said new construction and commercial, and then he also asks, could you use the money from your life insurance as a bond towards your company?
For the new construction is very popular right now and banks are lending a lot of money on those, which would be great. I partner with you if you have one, which is fine. The commercial industry, there's a lot of inventory on the market in the commercial, and it's taking a really serious hit. I would actually wait on the commercial side. If you're looking at building new construction homes in the up and coming area like Atlanta, maybe even Detroit, or I would look at a college town or a military town. You get some very attractive financing, and I'll partner with you on the deal if it makes some sense on it as well. Now, when it comes to a bond towards your company, I'm assuming that you're talking about from a general contracting scenario. Is that correct? Because typically GCs get a bond.
He is a he's a project manager. He is in construction. So yeah.
That's a good question. That I don't know the answer to that question from a bond standpoint. You may want to call and ask if there's a deposit needed for the bond and you actually have some cash in your life insurance. I'm pretty sure you can pull some cash out of it and send it over to pay for that bond. Sure.
Okay, too easy. Hey guys, listen. If you want to follow these men, all right, go follow. All right, at Smart Money Guy, at LADALE Bugs, man. Go to their Instagrams, blow it up, follow them. All right. Also, once again, I'm telling you guys, if you're looking for the information, okay, if you heard anything from these men today, knowledge, okay, knowledge is half the battle of what you know and what you can understand. All right, and what you don't understand, there's somebody who does, so they can help you understand it. Okay, with all that getting, get an understanding. Okay.
Now, Scott, I say this is Scott. Lauren Henry asked what agency that Matt is with and I partner with. It was a Matt. Tell him about PHP, man. Tell him about that. Can't hear you.
You're muted, Matt.
PHP agency stands for People Helping People. Boom. Is our playbook, right?
Yes.
PHP was started in 2009. We recently just got acquired in 2022 by IMG Integrity Marketing Group, the largest privately held company in all of Texas. They're bigger than the Cowboys. They're bigger than the Yankees. They're bigger than the Lakers. That company just acquired us June 27th of last year. But we started with 66 agents in 2009. And today we have a little over 30,000 agents from coast to coast. Our specialty is life insurance. Our specialty is long-term care. Our specialty is retirement planning, retirement services. We don't do specific, stocks, bonds, and mutual funds, which requires a securities license. Our lane is life insurance and retirement services.
Mm-hmm. And that is PHP agency.
That's right.
Okay, let me just go ahead and put that in the.
I appreciate it, big dog.
Simple, guys. If you want to know about PHP, you can go to the TITNwealth.com. That's there. Anything about real estate, you can go to cashflowclub.biz. It's simple there. And there's actually free training right there. So you can actually look at it. The training is on the TITM Wealth is Matt. He's talking about the 4 homes of money. Yeah, man, I used your video. I sure did.
I appreciate
I used your video. I sure did. Yes, you did. I clipped it. It's all good. You're still making money. But at the same time, it's Matt talking about the 4 homes of money. Real simple, guys. I'm talking a little bit as well. On the real estate side, that's me talking. I'm going over the top 3 strategies of real estate, guys. And I go into deep detail of what those are, how you can actually make money in real estate. It's for free. Right there.
Right there. And listen, and then you have the benefit if you have a deal. I'm assuming you could go to the cash flow biz. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Deal,
yes, sir.
Bring it to you, see if it makes sense, and then you go from there. So now you've exponentiated your income. Why? You probably went from 1,000 to 10,000 just finding the deal.
Yeah, I funded it.
Now you take that 10,000, put in the life insurance, and watch this thing. Listen, I'm just saying that's how life go. All right, but listen, guys, I appreciate your time. I know the comments. You guys have been asking great questions. I thank you.
Yeah.
Mr. Bugs, Mr. SAPAULA, I cannot thank you enough for coming on here with your time, your effort, and breaking this thing down for everybody of what wealth and what money looks like and changing the perspective of insurance. You know what I'm saying? Really changing it and how to get into real estate and things like that. Might have a part two. These guys are busy guys. They busy. All right, you know what I'm saying? But we might have a part two, go a little deeper, dive, more into numbers and things like that of what things might look like. But I appreciate everybody for tuning in. All right, I know you guys are going to shoot over to the draft. Probably got me on one TV and another on another. Make sure you pray for my Cowboys because I need a good.
Yes, need a good one. So let me say this here: we do have a Fairweather fan on the screen. And he's not a Cowboy fan. He's not a cow. He's not one of the good ones. He's a Chicago Bears fan.
When the last time Chicago done win something? I don't even know.
We're about to win something. We got Justin Fields. We got the number 9 pick. By the way, who do you think you're going to draft? Cowboys pick. Who do you think is going in the draft tonight?
I think it's going to be a running back.
Bijan? Like Bijan?
Love
Bijan. My dude.
I would love
Bijan.
Hook 'em horns. If he loses it, we need corners, man. We need corners, bro. Like,
no, man, we got Stephen Gilmore, and we got.
We did get
Stephen Gilmore. Yeah, and we got Diggs.
And I need to, because Lawrence be getting hurt. DeMarcus be getting hurt. So I need another person on beside of Micah. We can go offensive tackle because Tyron's getting up in age. So it's a lot of ways you can flow that thing. So, but
who should the Bears draft, man?
Everybody.
They're like, who cares? But listen, we either way, offensive line, defensive line, we got a lot of holes. I hope they trade back. They trade back from number 9, pick up a 12, pick up a 19, and trade with either the Steelers or somewhere, and pick up another couple second-round drafts. Because how many of y'all played Madden? Y'all played Madden? When I was playing Madden, I learned when I was playing Madden, I was in franchise mode. The steal of the draft was all in the second round.
You said the franchise.
Yeah, I was franchise mode, baby. I was addicted to franchise mode. Because what happens when you get too many guys in the first round? Long term, you got cap problems. See, you gotta learn the game, baby.
Oh man. I'm looking for franchise mode.
Oh my God. Wow. Yep. He's a Bears fan.
Hey, that's the thing, man. Think about how to create wealth. You got to think like an owner, not like a player.
I like
Look at it. Look at it. Yeah, he's a Bears fan.
I'm gonna say this before we get up out of here. It's just really funny to me that you would watch people who are about to make millions,
sure,
but you won't take the time out to learn how to make it for yourself. That's just crazy to me. That is just wild to me that people would supersede, like, yo, man, the draft. You're not making any money off of that. You're not covering it. Nope. You're not talking. You don't get paid to talk about it. You don't get paid to cover it. But you will sit in front of the TV and make sure you don't miss anything when you could have been on here and change your life with some information. That's just crazy to me. But you can continue to change your life if you go to the website, TINwealth.com and Cashflow Business. Make sure you pick up SAPAULA's book, Faith Made Millionaire. All right, go get that bestseller on Amazon right now. You go pick up my guy. Right, he said he's right there too. I got it.
I got it.
Go pick that up, guys. And you guys be blessed out there. You already know what it is. Until next time, you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to holler. God bless.